Hi everybody, welcome to Primetime Mitch. I'm not in the studio today because we're moving house soon, so that room is kind of a box room at the moment, and literally there is a lot of boxes in there. I just thought I'd throw out something a little bit different, and after a very busy month, it's nice to do something a little more simplistic. Just on that busy month, if you guys are Final Destination fans or Nightmare on Elm Street fans, please check out the 4 videos that came in the month of May. You may have seen it on the socials. If you're not following me on Instagram, please check me out, Primetime Mitch. But there is a watch along of Nightmare on Elm Street 3. There is an interview with Deandra Laser and Lito Velasco. There is also a Final Destination review that was preceded by a wonderful interview with the creator Jeffrey Reddick. If you enjoyed or are interested in those particular subjects, I would love it if you could go and check those out and drop me a like and a comment and share the channel and subscribe if you enjoy it. But what I'm going to do today, as you've seen in the title, I'm going to go through the movies I've watched in May and pick out my top 5. Now, this doesn't mean new releases for May. I've not seen every movie that's been released. I've only seen a select few, but this is just movies that I've decided to watch in the month. So they could be brand new releases or movies from days gone by. Either way, this is my top 5 for the month of May. Let's go. Coming in at number 5 is going to be The Conjuring 2. I like the first one, I do. I think for the time it was released and that horror of that time, I'm not a big fan of a lot of stuff that came out in that period. I think jump scares were being overused. I think there was too much cinematography to the point where it stopped being raw and real and I could just see the production rather than the story. But this one has a little bit more to it. There's a bit more body to it. I like the exploration of the Annabelle doll, particularly what's going on right now. And it has got some great haunted house moments in it that are really well shot and do instill a lot of dread in you. But the second one, I think, was an upgrade. I don't know how controversial an opinion that is, but obviously I'm British and I know the story of the Enfield haunting. I've always been fascinated by it since I was a kid. There was a TV show called Strange But True back in the 90s, if anybody remembers that. That terrified me in general, but the story of the Enfield haunting on there, the reconstruction and the way it was acted out was just very stripped down, very raw, typical sort of 90s long shots and grainy picture. So I found that really scary. So then when I realized that this movie was digging into the Enfield haunting, I was interested because I knew there'd be a lot of artistic license in there. I knew that the story would be developed around the true events on Green Street. But nevertheless, I thought it was a little bit more interesting. Obviously, it's a little closer to home, so it appealed to me. And I also love that kind of kitchen sink, working class environment. I think that makes it a little scary. There's a movie called When the Lights Went Out, 2012 movie, which I think is very similar in its theme. But they combine the story of the Enfield poltergeist mixed in with Ed and Lorraine as investigators that come to help. It was quite a nice little twist. And to be honest with you, it worked. I didn't think it would. I knew that they would create a lot of new stuff and a lot of things that didn't happen. But at the same time, they added a lot of things in there that were true, that were in the documentaries I've watched. So I was really impressed with that. I think Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are excellent as always. I've yet to see the later installments of this franchise. I'll be doing that next week when Mitch Jr. comes down. But nevertheless, Conjuring 2, I enjoyed it and it makes number 5 on this list. Coming in at number 4 is one I didn't expect to like as much as I did. Basically because there's so many movies of its kind around, particularly now in the found footage format. But that is Creature from Black Lake. This was such a surprise. This is a 1976 movie essentially about Bigfoot, the Sasquatch kind of lore, and it has that universal monster feel. The music is very similar, very orchestral in parts. The lighting is enough to not reveal too much, but you do see little bits of it. The creature, that is. This is also some of the early work of Dean Cundey, who obviously went on to work with John Carpenter on The Fog and Halloween. It's just a really fun, what I called a popcorn flick. Just a great little monster movie featuring 2 college students who want to get a scoop and then obviously they are warned off. It's very cliche in that sense, but it is so much fun. It's suitably funny in parts as well. I did laugh quite a lot during this. And even though the production is obviously limited in terms of what they could do, I think they made the best of it and I thought the performances were very good. I'd check out Creature from Black Lake if you want a fun night in, maybe this Halloween. In at number 3 is going to be 1965's The Flight of the Phoenix. I am actually going to be doing a video very soon in the same vein to the Cape Fear video I did not long back, where I'm going to be comparing the remake and the original. So you'll hear a lot more about this movie in that video. I would stay tuned for that one. But I will say I really enjoyed this movie. I love James Stewart's performance. I enjoy a lot of the stuff that he's in anyway. Richard Attenborough is probably the star of the show in this, though. If you want to know why, obviously the video will be coming along to explain that. But this was very well made. I think it looks really good in parts. I think some of the filmmaking is very nice to look at, even though I don't think it actually made that much money. It wasn't the commercial success they hoped. There is quite a stellar cast, although really I haven't seen enough of a lot of them. I know obviously Richard Attenborough and James Stewart, but you had Ernest Borgnine in there. I've seen him in a few things. And Ian Bannon, actually, I watched it in The Offence with Sean Connery not long ago, and he was excellent in that. It's not that well known, and obviously we'll talk about the comparisons with the remake, and I hope there's a few fans out there that will enjoy that video. Unfortunately, one of the stuntmen was killed during this movie as well, which maybe didn't do it any favours, but I really enjoyed this movie, and it comes in at 3 on May's list. Now remember, this list is the quality of the movie and how much I love it, and it isn't to do with new releases, it is to do with just what movies I watched in May. Coming in at number 2, talked about it recently, it's Final Destination Bloodlines. If you want to see my full review of this movie or my initial reaction, I might go a little bit deeper on future videos. Go check out that movie review and I'll explain further. But I thought this was a magnificent entry into the franchise. It was so much fun. It was very self-aware. It was well written. The characters were a lot better than some of the previous installments. The story, I felt, was a real strong point in this. I know people think you don't go to watch these movies for the story, you go to watch the kills and the crazy gore that goes with it. Yeah, the chaos and the carnage is there, but I do want some body to it. I want something to back it up, or else it is just mindless, and you get that everywhere now. I can find a movie to watch if I want mindless, crazy, senseless chaos. This movie felt like it had a bit more to it. There was a lot of really nice Easter eggs and nods for dedicated fans of the franchise, and it's left it open to loads of possibilities now. You've got the Penny, you've got the endless list of people that have come before that they could work with. You've even got stuff from before that time. You could even go into different ages and do a period Final Destination. But overall, I had a magnificent experience with this movie. I loved it, and I would have put it at number 1 if it wasn't for the fact that I happened to watch a certain movie during this month, which is Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. If you want to see my watch-along of this movie, go check that out. The links will be in the description for all these anyway. I did a watch along. I've done 1, 2, and 3 now on the channel because I kicked off Primetime Mitch with the first movie. So I'm sort of gradually getting through them. The next one may be live. I also did a great little video with Deandra Laser and Lito Velasco discussing this as well. 2 great people with a real passion for the franchise, and I've done some great things for the fans over the years. This movie to me is the ultimate sequel. I think it is a joy to watch. It just, to me, does not age. It still holds up. Maybe some of it in terms of how things looked back then and everything, but that's the whole point of movies through the years. We get a great glimpse into what it's like in all those decades. But I think the stop motion effects are great to see. I think the practicals are wonderful. The puppet scene the marionette scene is just amazing. The television scene with Jennifer and Robert Englund's incredible improvised line, which created this channel, it's all memorable. Nancy's return is a yay moment for anybody that loves this franchise. John Saxon appears. It has everything, this movie. This, to me, is probably the greatest sequel ever. I know there's some great ones out there, and maybe I'll do a sequels video one day, but this is always up there for me. It gave me everything I wanted. Freddy wasn't the crazy comical commercial character he became following this. You probably blame this movie's success for that, but he was just that right amount of comedic and that right amount of evil in this movie, and he looked great as well. You genuinely felt for the characters, you felt terrible for them and what was happening to them. They all had their own quirks and interests that made the dreams more tailored and more dark and even more evil. I love this movie so much, and it will always be one of my favorites. It has to be above everything on this list. That's my May movie haul, and it's not bad really, is it? That's my top 5. There's been a few. If you want to check out every movie I've seen in May, please go check out my Letterboxd page. My links are down below. I have hundreds of movies on there that I've ranked. I always leave a review as well with a paragraph at the very least saying why I've rated movies the way I have, so I try to give as much as I can. There is an interesting list on there. There's stuff from 1940s through to now. Just please check it out and please follow me, and if you want to leave a comment underneath any of the reviews, tell me what you thought of those movies, please do so. Thanks guys. Also, if you enjoy my content, I've been putting out quite a lot recently and there's so much more I've got to get through, but I really appreciate all your interactions. I started this from nothing. It's been a life goal of mine to do something I enjoy for once, and I'm certainly doing that now. So your likes, your subscriptions, your shares and your comments are very much appreciated, and I will catch you all later on Primetime Mitch. Thank you.